Excellent. Well, again, first and foremost, I appreciate everyone on the call today. Definitely looking forward to kind of covering some new material. If there's anyone that's been on any of our previous partner webinars, you'll probably see some new slides here. I think my challenge today is going to be to kind of keep it within my window so I can hand it back over to Pete. But again, thanks for your time, and we'll dig right in. So first and foremost, as far as an agenda, I just want to talk about, kind of 5 things: foundations, our approach, the different practice divisions that we have, and then partner benefits. And right off the bat, I kind of want to mention a couple things. As far as starting Contextual Security Solutions, we've been in business now for 6 years. I myself have been a practitioner for going on 20 years now. But one of the things that, as a security assessment and audit firm that we found out relatively early was, again, we focused on, telling folks and identifying issues within the security or compliance issues within their infrastructure. And what we found time and time again, we found customers coming back and saying, okay, great, you found these. We now need help with whether it's products or feet on the street to address these problems, maybe help us address, whatever the issue that we found. And that's one of the things that sparked the partner program, and Pete will tell you more about that in his presentation. But again, it's something that we saw that it was a need, and we've started it, I think it's probably about 12, 15 months ago. Had a lot of success, been working with partners for a long time, but actually put an actual formal program together just in the last 12 to 15 months. So really excited about it. Again, it allows us to focus on what we do best, but it also allows us to identify partners and work with partners to kind of help ultimately strengthen the security and compliance posture of our customers. So with that said, we'll keep going. Foundations, just some basic things here. There really are 4 foundations. Expertise, again, as I mentioned, we have 20 years. Each of our practice managers has over 20 years experience in delivering their services. Our client list ranges from, small, local energy co-ops all the way to large retail merchants with over 1,000 locations. And that's, we are a QSAC. I'll focus on that as well, which means we're a qualified security assessor company as designated by the PCI Council. It allows us to do those level 1 audits. Certifications, we have a myriad of those as well, that you see here. We are fully insured. I mentioned that as well because there's a lot of practitioners in this space that aren't. That's a minimum requirement for us as to do PCI work, but it's something that, again, it's something that we obviously want to let our customers and partners know as well. And then trust. We've really over the course of the 6 years, we've earned the trust of our clients. And now a close network of partners, which I think it's around 50 now. Our approach, just quickly, we do a lot of upfront time investment with our partners and our clients and our partners' clients. And that allows us to really get a firm understanding of really what's the end goal. And so we're not just delivering a service based on, just a checkbox or anything like that. We're actually trying to help them meet their objectives. And every project will have an assigned technical as well as a compliance lead. So again, if those kind of questions come up, we'll be able to answer those. Tailored reporting, we really focus on a great deal as far as innovating and continuing to update our deliverables and the services and everything that we do. And so we have certain things where we actually have tailored reporting to kind of meet specific compliance requirements. Lastly is routine and constant communication. This is probably the thing that I pride our team and our partners that we've worked with the most. We obviously will provide a portal, project portal, so anyone involved in the project can get up to speed quickly. But by having that routine, constant communication, we move a lot of things from transactional engagements to reoccurring, where we're staying involved with our clients to see anything that could impact the security of their organization. We want to be the first. We want ourselves and our partners to be the first people they call. We want them to see us as being in that foxhole. And ultimately, if we achieve that and we're available, that allows for not only us but also partner enrichment with a particular client.
Kevin, sorry to interject. I had a question from the audience. The question is, what was the little box PT? And I assume that means okay, penetration test. Okay. I understand what he's asking. So sorry to interject there. I'm just trying to answer a question that one of our audience members had.
No problem. And that's great because this slide will kind of allow, one of the things that we've done, I guess, from a marketing standpoint is with all of our services, we basically created an element, and it is mostly marketing, but I think it's also, think back to your high school days and junior high, again, depending where you went. For me, I think it was high school, but the periodic chart. We've tried to create a periodic chart of security services and compliance related services. And just from a marketing standpoint, if you see here, whenever we do our scope of work, things of that nature, these are the elements that we put in our statement of work. But you'll see, for instance, PT, what we've done here is, here's our element for penetration testing. If you look up in the top left-hand corner, that's typically the frequency at a minimum you want to be doing that, the organizations you work with, which is annual. And that's typically, tied to security best practice. But if there's a compliance framework that references it, there's also that checkbox in the top right-hand corner. Again, just some little nuances as far as what we've done for marketing, but again, from our security assessment practice, these are just represent a few of the different elements that we do. We have quite a few more, but PT is one of the ones that typically we see people able to get in the door. Our partners are able to get into the door with their customers at first. And again, we do a great job there. We have seasoned professionals that have been doing that work for a long time. We have the certifications also to kind of back that up, the different things that many companies look for, but also many, if they have a third-party auditor, banking auditor, or whoever, they want to see that maybe the work's been done by an entity that had a CISSP or a person that had a CISA. Well, a couple things that we've done within our security assessment division that's really kind of helped us and allowed us to kind of differentiate ourselves is we've created a few things, and I'll highlight, again, we could spend a whole hour on each one of these individually, but I'll kind of highlight some of the things that make us unique. And some of those are our Atom Box, our VMASH engine, and Illumina, which we're really excited about. And ultimately, whenever we talk references and things of that nature, I wanted to throw it in. This was just from June of this year. One of our banking customers, we meet with them on a quarterly basis. This particular individual, we started off, they gave us a penetration test 3 years ago. They liked what we did, and now we meet with them quarterly. We do a lot more work for them. And one of the things that they said in our last meeting was the FDIC examiner said we exceeded their expectations with respect to the reviews and the reporting. So again, really great feedback, great to hear. Just kind of a testament of how we're trying to design how we run our practice, and ultimately the benefits to our customers. From an Atom standpoint, one of the things that sometimes comes up at the end of our calls is related to, hey, with a lot of these services, we have a small entity, maybe they can't afford travel, because again, we work with partners across the country. One of the things we've developed is our Atom Box. It's a small headless unit. This is actually the unit itself. We ship it out. Usually we can get it there in a couple days. They plug it in. It requires two-factor authentication for us to access, but it allows us to, it's almost a security consultant in a box. It allows us to access their environment and do all testing remotely. And that's great because, number one, save on travel costs, but also in the event that, after the engagement, they want to fix some things. They want to call our partners in and to fix or remediate certain items. There's an opportunity where we can just leave the box there and retest after a certain amount of time. We've also got two versions. This one here is our Atom. We've just recently developed an even smaller version, which is our Neutron, which is for much smaller environments. VMASH is just a proprietary engine where we collect our vulnerability data on our security side of the house. We throw it into our proprietary database, and it allows us to quickly review data, come up with our findings, and basically boil it down to reports that convey those results in a palatable fashion for all different types of audience members, whether it's the executive staff all the way down to the technical resources that are required to do some of the remediation. I mentioned a little bit about tailored reporting. We have a multitude of reports, but here's one of our smaller reports, and this is really our snapshot report. This is typically what we do when we have quarterly engagements with customers. We'll typically do a long form report, and then we followed up with quarterly snapshot reports. And I focused on this one because we've had a lot of success with it lately, but it also highlights some of the things that we've done to kind of get our partners even more exposure. So again, just a sample page here. But once you go into the first page, we're not only putting our contact information, but also our partners. and this also may not seem like a big deal, but I think we all know within IT, people leave companies. Maybe your point of contact may leave a specific company that you've worked with for years, and when they leave, sometimes you have to rebuild that relationship with the new person. Well, again, we always want to have those constant reminders where whoever comes in next, if they're looking to see, okay, we've got to do a pen test, we've got to do this. Let's look at the last one. We want them to see both ours and our partner information so they can quickly, they have a phone number, they know exactly who to contact. And again, just trying to remove the hurdles so we can further get entrenched with our clients and our partner clients. This simple report, again, is palatable for executives. It's one that quickly sets a scope, provides metrics. You'll even see at the bottom we have trend data. If we've done multiple engagements, we'll compare it to the previous quarters, and so they can see exactly how they've kind of stacked up or how they've improved. We have assessor commentary. It's boiled down to specific areas, and you'll see here things like issues were related to missing patches or misconfigurations or deprecated software. Those should all be key areas where our partners can quickly see, okay, they have an issue with patch management or deprecated software. These are opportunities where maybe I can help. And again, we've designed it that way because, again, we are an assessment company. We really want to rely on our partners to be able to kind of do the feet on the street, and also the products and the different services that may need to be sold to the organization to help improve and kind of close up those gaps. Keep going down. This is just vulnerability breakdown information. I'll kind of go through these because there's still quite a bit of information to go over. Short-term and long-term recommendations, again, as I highlighted, the partner benefit. This is where the assessor commentary comes into the actual recommendations. And again, these are where you would want to key in and say, okay, this is where we can help. And then ultimately what we have is our security extension program, and this is where if we've done that one-time engagement, we've done a great job, this is where ourselves and our partners, we hope to get entrenched with our customers, because this is where we will put a security program together for those clients that maybe haven't or don't have a formal program in place today. We design all the different activities that need to be performed, and again, if we can move into that side of the house, that's where entrenchment, and that's really where they see us as an extension of their security team. Standard long form reports, again, I didn't want to just glaze over that, but these are more the 100-page, really detailed findings, include a lot more screenshots, and these are typically what we'll do annually for our clients. All right, from a risk and compliance side of the house, again, this is just represents the elements as well. Obviously, one of the big drivers right now is PCI, because they've made such a focus on third-party audits and the mandatory. If you process a certain number of transactions, you're level 1 or level 2 merchant, you have to have a third-party audit in those cases. And so by doing that, a lot of our business has been driven by that. And again, we are, as I mentioned before, we're a QSAC, so we can perform those level 1 audits. So if there's maybe a client that you haven't been able to get into before as it relates on the risk and compliance side, again, contextual security is something that we've done for 6 years, and we have multiple QSAs on staff, and it's something that we do for not only small but very large organizations. As far as the different pieces here, kind of went a little too quick there. Again, some questions that may come up. What are the certifications that your compliance team has? Again, here are just some of the basic ones. C-risks, again, C-SIPs or CISPs as well. And then we're also, as I mentioned, a qualified security assessor company. You can go to the PCI website and you can look us up at any time. Again, you see my contact information there. All right, moving on. As far as a couple things with our risk and compliance, and I mentioned PCI, but we also do a great deal in the healthcare, and we have banking resources as well. One of our director of our compliance services, Brandon Polk, he was a banking auditor for I think going on 6 or 7 years before he joined us years ago. So again, we have that expertise. We perform some of those gap analysis as well. But a couple other areas here that kind of make us differentiate us. Again, tailored reporting. Station auditor. This may not apply, but just a small subset, but it kind of shows, what we do. We have a number of customers within the fuel industry, and as such, we've developed a station audit report that allows us to go and quickly audit different locations, do a sample audit to make sure that they've rolled out their policies and procedures in a consistent manner, that the security posture looks good. and we've specifically designed it for that niche, and we're always doing that. I'll give you a couple other examples here in a second, but one of the things also that's a benefit here is we can provide this data back to our clients within 24 to 48 hours in some cases, and that is timely, and it's very helpful in the event that we found an issue that could affect maybe their PCI compliance. Definitely they want to remediate those things as quick as possible. These are just samples. Again, these are, I've just got a couple screenshots here. These are between, I think, 8 and 10 page reports, but lots of pictures. So again, if you're a CISO, if your client, has a manager that's responsible for security of those organizations, they can now, not only do they see our findings, but hey, by the way, here are the actual pictures that we took while we were there. Here's the actual evidence that we had. Before I go a little bit, actually, I'm going to back up just for a second. One of the areas that we're working on now is we're also working with a local healthcare organization. I say local, it's a Tennessee-wide healthcare organization where they have to go through a certification program. All their clients that use their services have to go through a certification program, and we're currently working on developing a tailored report for them as well. So again, those are things that we're always trying to innovate, we're agile, we're always trying to, again, meet our customer, partner, and client needs. Kind of feel like I'm going on a filibuster here, which is obviously the case, but I'll quickly finish up with our Illumino platform, and it's something that we've been really excited about. Started 6 years ago. It's something that just in the last few years we've really been able to pick up some momentum. But this is the CISO dashboard, and this is really where when we work with our partners and our clients, where they have kind of another touch point, and it organizes their security program, keeps them on track. There's no surprises, and again, provides that other touch point. But I'll kind of dive into it just so we kind of get some screenshots. It's obviously available. It's a web portal available 365, 24/7. You access it via two-factor authentication. And again, once in, it allows your clients to basically track their security program, whether maybe they have HIPAA compliance, FFIC compliance, PCI compliance, or maybe they have an internal compliance standard that they've developed and they just want to track. We can track that all within our portal. And this isn't something that we've licensed from another company. This is our intellectual property and something that we put a lot of effort into. But it also allows us to track different tasks. As you can see on this screenshot, you see the penetration test. Partner or customer can log at any time and they can see, we have 13 days remaining before it's due. They can see the status, the due dates, how often it's done, and all those are editable. Once you click into the specific element, you can change it. Maybe you want to do biannual penetration testing. It comes with alerting, so if you get behind on a certain task, you don't forget, those alerts will be sent out as well. But it's just a great way to kind of organize and make sure that from a security standpoint, it's all about consistency in doing those routine tasks on a routine basis. And that's essentially what Illumino allows our clients to stay abreast of. Again, I won't highlight a whole lot of this, but again, a lot of status visuals there. And I mentioned the bars where it says various drill downs. If they want to drill down into specific PCI compliance, they can see, hey, what areas need attention? Where am I good? And here's kind of an example. They can drill down to a specific control, see the actual assessor's findings. There's a way to upload evidence. Generating rocks, which is a huge endeavor. It allows us to quickly generate reports for our clients. At the end of the day, kind of wrap this up. Again, there's a couple other slides I could possibly show on the Illumino, but again, if there's some other questions you have, by all means, let us know. But I want to focus before I hand this back over to Pete. Security Alliance program partner benefits, things I want to focus on. Number one, it's an additional revenue stream. We have a great example of that, and if there's time at the end of the presentation, I'll definitely show that. Then it allows you to strengthen and deepen your relationships with your clients and keep competition out. And the big piece there is entrenchment. We really focus on entrenchment with our clients and with our partners. We want to kind of be the firm that they call, and we want our partners to be the firm that they call whenever there's an issue. And again, the big one here is remediation opportunities. I can say in 6 years since starting Contextual Security Solutions, never had a company, never had an engagement where at the end of it we said, you guys are great. There are always remediation opportunities, and we are in an industry where security is it's always going to lag behind because there's just not that much talent out there. So customers need help. They need help closing up those gaps. And again, it's one of the main reasons we started the partner program. With that said, I'll kind of hand that back over to you, Pete. And again, thanks for your time. Hopefully I didn't go too long, Pete.
No, fantastic work. There's obviously a lot of good content there. And as a reminder, we do have this recorded. So if you didn't happen to take a ton of notes, don't feel bad about that. We'll be happy to send you some recordings. But I think if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of thought behind this. This isn't just a vulnerability scan, right? We're doing a lot to not only put together the right services for your customers, but to make this as easy as possible to work with, but also to give you as many opportunities to make money in doing so as well. And I think really, Kevin, you did a great job highlighting that. So let me dig into the partner program here. Go ahead and fire up my slides once again. And Kevin, can you see the slide deck okay?
I can.
So my job today is just going to give you a little bit of a deep dive into the partner program and to really make this, if you will, something not to be concerned about or afraid of. And that's really what my goal is today. Is it's a very turnkey partner program, very easy to work with, no long-term commitments, nothing to that effect. We're designed to be an extension of your security and sales team. So I want to talk a little bit about my experience and how the program was built. We're going to obviously dig into the benefits, the structure, show you the partner portal. I'm going to give you guys some insight as to some marketing programs that we've done that have been tremendously successful in developing new pipeline for partners. And we offer a lot of a sponsorship there as well. Of course, we'll finish up with some final points and do a live Q&A session as well. So I asked you guys, well, kind of, let me back up a little bit. I was a founder of a high volume security VAR, which we ran for about 12, almost 13 years. It was based out of Boston, highly sales focused, very sales process driven, very transactional. But we did also have a need for more technical and complex technical resources. But we didn't have the budget to have somebody full time to do penetration testing, maybe offer HIPAA or PCI or any of the more complex compliance engagements. But we're always, as hopefully everyone on this call is looking for additional revenue streams. So is that kind of why we're here today? And if you are, that's really the background of why we were very successful at Contextual Security as we partnered up with them. So in 2012, we ended up partnering with Contextual Security. In about 2 years' time, Contextual became one of our largest revenue streams. And then again, right after that, I sold my business and started working for this company itself. But again, I share that quick history with you only because the experiences that I had as a security VAR and working with Contextual Security is kind of the genesis of the partner program itself. Very simple, not a lot of complexity, very plug and play. So what I mean by that, we've got 3 basic tiers. You've got your limited program, which is more for one-off engagements, not really interested in doing long-term, if you will, marketing development programs and the like. Most of our partners fall in the registered portfolio. Essentially, you do have access to our sales and technical team. You do have an NDA in place, and you do have the ability to go onto our partner portal. And then we do have certified partners regionally as well. And they're just demonstrating a little bit more interest in working with us. We're doing active marketing events with them, either webinars or local events. They have attained their online certifications. They've got us on their website, and we're working a little bit more closely in terms of being a partner of Contextual Security. Some of the benefits, well, obviously QBR and annual plan just allows us to understand each other and not only address, if you will, how to build contextual security business, but I think it's very important for us to understand what your goals are as a company as well. If you're trying to break into new verticals, if you're trying to break into new size organizations, some of my best partners are actually using our services to break into those accounts and leverage the reports that Kevin was showcasing, cross-selling reports, all sorts of different remediation reports for you as the partner to dig deeper into the account. So those QBRs and those annual plans really is the start of the process. It allows us to really put together a marketing and a business strategy so we can help grow, not just Contextual Security, but you as a company as well. Everyone has access to web-based sales training. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit, as well as a partner portal. If you are a certified partner, you have access to marketing development funds. We'll show you a couple examples of those as well. What is a money-back guarantee? Well, I think the whole point of this is we stand by our work. We understand that there's inherited trust for you as a partner to introduce us to your customers and your prospects. So we do stand by our work. If your customer is unhappy or did perhaps expected something different from our testing, we will work with your client to resolve that and offer whatever we need to resolve that. If they're unhappy with that attempt, or second or third attempt, they simply will not be charged for our efforts. Feel good knowing that's never happened. We've had one or two occasions where a customer was expecting something different, perhaps on a report, redid the test, happy to provide that report. One of the things we're very, very big on is doing a very meticulous kickoff call, going through all the details in terms of expectations to reduce any concerns in the long run. But just feel good knowing that you may have clients who haven't worked with us before or have heard of us before. That hopefully alleviates some of the concern there. We've got flexible billing, and essentially that means that we can either send you a statement of work that has your cost on it, that you would then put on your letterhead and mark up to your clients. We have a work order, which essentially is just the verbiage with your pricing, and you can put on, again, your work order. Or we can do a white labeled statement of work, if you will, where we actually sell it to the client directly and you get a back-end referral. Why that's relevant is we have partners who don't want to be involved in billing, and we have partners who do. And we do have lots of flexibility there. And we can also obviously change throughout the course of the partnership as well. Kevin did a very good job, of course, of talking about the cross-selling opportunities. We'd be happy to send you sample reports for that if you'd like to see further. And partner locator, self-explanatory. As soon as you get us a signed agreement, and by the way, everyone after this call will get a registration link to have access to the partner portal, also access to the partner program. As soon as we get those documents over to us, you will immediately be put onto the partner lookup or the partner locator. And it does two things. Obviously, if a customer is looking for somebody local to provide their services, they can go to our site to do that as well. But we often have clients who don't have an in-house expert or really the bandwidth to do the remediation that we are suggesting. So we go back to our partner community, look up where our partners are based on geography, and then introduce our partners to our clients that need remediation help. And hopefully you picked up with Kevin, we don't do the remediation. We rely on our partners for that. So there is an inherent interest just to get started with the program and get you on our website as well. Moving along, this is really more about the requirements and discount structure. And I think what my job for certified partners is to get you to 100,000 through our activities. I've got numerous partners who have done that in a very short period of time. If you do get the online certification course, which is part of the certified program, then you also have access to things like higher discounting and also opportunity to register any opportunities over 15,000 as well. So you can make as much as 20% as a certified partner. Question came in regards to distribution. Do we work with Synnex? Currently, we are working as a direct model with our partners. We do have a couple of distributors that are very interested in working with us. We are almost in a beta pilot program with some of the distributors. Synnex is not one of them, but currently I can refer you to a distributor that if you're partnered with to see if there's any synergy between us, the three of us collaborating. But in short, currently the relationship is working directly with us as a standard VAR or security VAR. So let me show you the partner portal real quick. And again, I'll show you guys, I'll send you guys a link after this to get access to the partner portal itself. But it's pretty standard in the sense of the material, but I think it's very helpful to get going in terms of different materials that's available here. So on the left-hand side, you'll see sales, in the middle marketing, and then of course you have your other components here on the portal itself. But a couple things I want to highlight. The sales battle card is a one-page PDF that gives you a wonderful head start into why people are actually needing our services, some of the business drivers, as well as some qualifying questions you can ask regards to pen testing and security services as well, such as HIPAA, PCI, EI3PA, and others. We've got some objection handling, things like what is your skill set, what's the methodology, things that we are asked quite often. You have that all in front of you, and of course a list of the services that we provide. Nice one-page PDF to have in front of you during a meeting, or for any of your sales team members that are maybe not familiar with selling security services. Good way to get conversation starters. We have all that listed there for you as well. Excuse me as I get back to the partner portal. Sample reports, very important. Clients often like to see the difference that we have in reports and compare that to others that they're used to. We have all that available on the portal itself. We've got calling scripts, and basically these are good for those that like to have a little structure in terms of how to have a conversation started around security services. And we do also have a biz development person in-house that can help you build pipeline, and I'll talk about that here in a second. We've got reseller guides, program guides, company brochures, and I think the most important part here is the web page templates. And the reason for that is when I owned my security VAR business, the first thing we did is we added information about pen testing, compliance engagements, and that did two things. The first one is obvious. It built credibility with any prospects to say, hey, we are good at pen testing, to actually have information about it available on our site, but also started getting inbound leads from an SEO perspective. Local to us, we started getting requests for these kind of services. So just by having things on your site, you can start getting an incremental revenue from an inbound perspective. We built all that content there for you as well. You've got assets, you've got direct mailings, you've got email templates. I'm going to show you one more marketing tool. These are brochures that are all co-brandable, if that's a word. These can all be co-branded, and essentially, just to give you some examples, justifying the need for a penetration test. It'll actually compare that to a vulnerability assessment. And again, we have partner logos here that can be listed, your contact information here listed. Here's one for PCI and the need for PCI. Of course, as you saw here, we have them for HIPAA, GDPR, NIST, and we can keep building these. So if you've got particular needs from any kind of regulatory compliance engagements, we're happy to continue to build those as well. Just a couple more points, and then I'm going to go ahead and get back into the deck here. We've got online certification, which is very helpful if you want to become a certified partner. It's a 45-minute course that gives a little bit more insight into the sales and the technical services that Kevin and I spoke about today. Deal registration, and of course, recorded webinars. We do these every quarter. We just finished one last week, which I'll upload here momentarily. Just great insight into some of the marketing that we do here as well. Wrapping up, guys. So from a marketing standpoint, and if you guys haven't already picked up, we're trying to consider ourselves, or really want to build ourselves more than just a security services firm. We'd love to consider ourselves a business development company as well. And what I mean by that is we've got an in-house person that's helping partners week by week, making cold calls. We're defining lists to target, and we're actually sending leads to our partners that are active with us on a week-by-week basis. So if you've got interest in doing that, what we do is we set up a marketing call with Mike Gregoire, who is our business development manager here. And essentially, the three of us will come up with a game plan to help generate new activity. Some ideas and things that we can do together include the following. This is the webinar that I spoke about last month. This particular webinar was geared around attack vectors, things that hackers are doing to circumvent traditional network security systems, and kind of think like a pen tester, if you will. Why this is great is it's not a sales pitch. It's not about contextual security. It's more topical. Great way to co-brand, get your customers and prospects thinking about security, get them interested perhaps in contextual security. But again, we do these on a monthly, even quarterly basis, and we'll help generate and drive traffic to you as well. Here is an example of a on-site presentation that we did. Same topic, just with a partner in San Diego. Co-branding, very big here. We'll actually invest in printing these with your logo and mailing to you. So if you've got customer meetings or events that are coming up and you love to have some marketing brochures to hand out with your logo and your contact information, we will certainly cover the cost for that as well. Here is a direct mailing. If you're a fan of doing any mailings, we'll be sending these out, and our biz development person can actually make some follow-up phone calls. A couple more points. This was actually one of our most successful campaigns. This was done with a partner in New Hampshire. And what we did is we actually sent this out to their customer base. And it's promoting what we call scoping calls, or really just a discussion with contextual security. And the idea is most likely getting penetration testing from a provider today. Why not through you? And why not through contextual security as your partner? So this just gives them a little additional incentive to set up a 30-minute conversation with us. If they do that, they get automatically entered into this raffle. And you as a partner will actually receive the television or whatever it is, whatever prize we decide to offer them, so that you can hand deliver it, take a photo of you shaking hands, whatever it is from a PR perspective, put it on your website. So long story short, we're happy to invest in those kind of campaigns as well. Here's one that we did with an Apple Watch as well from a different partner. So we're very interested in building pipeline. We're very interested in making things exciting for your customers and your prospects. We're not just relying on you to do the heavy lifting. We've got team members in-house that can actually do that for you as well. So just a couple final points. Lead with your services. Our services to break into new accounts. We can be reactionary, but don't think of us as reactionary. Help us. We can help you break into different verticals by our remediation reports as well. Tie us into existing sales. If you sell firewalls, if you sell networking infrastructure, it's very, very nice complementary follow-up service is to do a penetration test to make sure that every port, everything that they've set up is configured as secure as possible. And engage us early and often. A lot of times people think they need an external pen test. By getting us on the phone, even if it's just an exploratory call, no commitments, we can often get them interested in things like internal penetration testing or security extension program that Kevin talked about. There's a lot that we can do as a extension of your sales and technical team. So as I talked about earlier, a couple next steps. You will get an email from me with the online partner agreement. It is a digital online agreement. It takes 5 minutes to complete. You will have access to the partner portal as soon as we get the partner agreement signed. And then for a promo for today, for our attendees that did join us, if you are able to send us the online agreement, you will get $250 towards a marketing development event. And then if you actually have a engagement that results into a statement of work within the first 6 months, we're happy to invest another $250. So $500 to any of our partners today that would either has an immediate opportunity or just wants to join us from a partner perspective. Okay, that's it from my side. I think we did okay on time. We're actually a couple minutes early, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and ask any of the audience members if they have any questions, either through the GoToMeeting chat system or live. I do have a question in regards to our Canadian market here, and do we have partners in Canada? We do. Essentially not as many as we do in the United States. I do have partners. If you look in the lookup, I believe a couple in Toronto, but we certainly don't have any certified partners, meaning ones we're doing a lot of active work with. Some of our partners are signed up as more of a reactionary. They'll call us when they need us, but we are looking for a heavy hitter in the Canadian market for sure. And as far as Canadian versions of various certificates, I'm going to pass that to Kevin, but I believe when it comes to PCI, we are certified in Canada. Am I saying that correctly, Kevin?
Yes, we can perform audits, and we actually do that for clients in Canada.
Excellent. Question in regards to the security extension program. Do you have any details? I am interested in learning more about a quarterly scan versus a one-time scan. Would you be able to embellish on that a little bit? Kevin, can I ask you to jump in there?
Yeah, that's great. And do you mind letting me share my screen real quick, Pete? Because I actually had a couple slides that didn't get to, but we'll see. Hold on just a second. All right. So this was at the end of my presentation, but we'll go ahead. Can you see my screen okay, Pete?
I sure can.
Great. So I'm going to give you guys an example. And I'll say, this was a recent opportunity. It's about a 5,000 employee company. We worked this with a partner. Never had any kind of assessment done before. And this is just an example. So in Q4 of 2017, think they closed for around a little under $50,000 for this first engagement. And it was things like penetration testing, wireless assessment, vulnerability assessment. And again, this is really, one of our strong suites. So, once that was done, we had a formal outbrief, as we did. It was ourselves, our partner, and the client. As soon as that engagement was completed, they had some questions about a compliance engagement. And so we followed that back up with a compliance engagement in an SOW. They looked that over. In Q1, they signed for another little under $50K for a HIPAA compliance audit and IT risk assessment. Moved that, and then we actually, had another outbrief after that engagement. And our outbriefs are basically what we do is ourselves with our partners, we'll go over the findings. We'll kind of go over the high-level areas within the report. Once that was over, we presented them an annual program through our partner. Quickly after that, in Q2 2008, they signed for another $50,000, actually a little over $50,000 for our annual program. And that annual program allows us to be involved, every quarter. We're working with the organization. And really, as I talk about that entrenchment, that's really what we want for our partners and ourselves with our clients. So great success story, 146K roughly in 7 months, moved from transactional opportunity, which is that, loan pen test, things that we were able to get in the door, to annual recurring revenue, builds trust, again, entrenchment, can weather personnel changes if you're involved throughout the year, and there's other opportunities there, I think, going forward. Back to you, Pete.
Perfect. And at this point, guys, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the lines. I don't have any other questions on the in the queue, I should say. So if anyone has any live questions, you are actually unmuted at this point. All right, last call. Any questions for Kevin or myself? All right. Well, at this point, once again, we thank you for everyone's time. Kevin, fantastic work on the new slide deck. I really appreciate the new content there. You'll be hearing from us within the hour in terms of follow-up information, and hopefully we could partner up and be very successful together. We really appreciate your time. And Kevin, I'll pass it over to you for final words.
I can't reiterate again, I really appreciate your time. I know we're all busy, and really just glad you guys were on today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Pete, and be glad to address them. But look forward to working with you.
Have a great day, everybody.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.